Hi everyone, this is Daisy Magana, aka Daisy Days, here to bring you the best in the world of house and techno with 6 a.m.'s in an interview series. Who says you have to wear black on black and be serious when it comes to techno? Turns out you don't. Industrial techno heavyweight Paula Temple had some fun during her B2B with SNTS, dressing as a bride, and even wore a bold, bright red dress during her Crossed 2021 set, delivering powerful punches throughout the night. Paula is back on the road and ready to go. She was nice enough to sit down with me to talk about what life has been like for her since her last SoCal visit, opened up about her career trajectory, and shared why being you is all that matters. Keep it locked on 6 a.m.'s in interview series for the full download.
Reversing the bombs that I experienced in my prior life.
Paula, thank you so much for making time for 6 a.m. We're here in San Diego in Cross, and the last time you were in Cali, you played an LA warehouse to a sold-out show. So how does it feel being back on the road?
Well, I was quite nervous being back on the road because it was 18 months since the whole shutdown. But I'd just done a few gigs in Europe, some pretty big ones, and I feel ready again. They've taken a lot of the nerves away. And
is this you haven't been to California since you played San Francisco and LA, right?
That's right. I can't believe it. We did the LA show, and you know the virus at that moment, no one was taking it seriously. We couldn't believe it would ever come to America or around the world. We just thought it was China, but then suddenly everything shut down and changed everything. So I didn't even know if we'd ever get back to playing shows again.
So how did the past 18 months shine a light in the way that you want to change your life, if anything?
Well, focus more on relationships. Just having time for the real things that are important that I didn't get the time to do when you're on the road all the time.
100%,
So it was really great. You know, we got a home together and we were focused on refurbishing that. We got a foster dog. We became emergency foster dog mummies. And actually having Banji, the dog, spending time with her, she taught me what was important.
Cool. And I saw on your Instagram that just a few days ago you had we can call it a very techno wedding, right? So that was at Dream Nation, and you mentioned that it's only been your second B2B, right? So how did that concept come about? Can you kind of take us a little bit into that?
So I was doing a night for the Amsterdam Dance Event, which is a big conference once a year in Amsterdam, and I was asked by Intercell to put on a show, Paula Temple night, and I hadn't met SNTS at that point, but we talked so much because our music is very similar, and I'd already asked him to play at the party, and I said to him, hey, why don't we do a back-to-back? I think it'd be pretty fun. And he immediately said, yes, I would love to.
Love that.
And that was just so natural. It was a natural fit match. And for that party, the Incel party, like most parties, I don't make an effort dress-wise. I just t-shirt and whatever. It's normally a free record label t-shirt, you know, or I do tend to wear just black or second-hand clothes, and I don't buy stuff for the
DJ outfit, decades. Black on black.
just simple. But for this one, for the Dream Nation, I just decided last minute, I'm gonna get a black veil, and Nick was like, nah, don't be stupid. I think it'd be fun, and it actually it worked out really well because it made me feel more fun, that I could have more more fun with it. And SNTS loved it, and he, I joked with him, said, this is our wedding, and then he really went for it.
A lot of people I saw, and there was a lot of social media buzz, they were commenting, and some people were like, wait, what is going on, and stuff like that. So while there won't be a wedding at your Cross set, what can people expect, for your, and do you do anything special to prep for your sets?
Well, I always think specifically about each set. So I've been thinking about what do I do for the festival, and then I was asked to do an after party as well. What do I do? So I really thought about the festival. I wasn't sure if people had even heard my music. I'm not sure where techno is at the moment in America. But anyway, staying true to myself, it is going to be heavy at times, but it also explores the more melodic. I call it romantic techno.
Nice.
And for a lot of people, that's still very heavy, even too heavy for them. But for me, there's these really nice melodic breakdown moments, and we get to dance our ass off as well. Nice. And I've got a few like unreleased bits or live bits that I'm testing out. So especially towards the end.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So if people are trying to Shazam, they're not going to find anything.
No,
if they're trying to get that ID.
If a single track in any of my sets appears in a Shazam, I failed.
You're going to be like, no. That is true. Yeah.
Because it's underground.
Yeah.
Now for the after party, that's a different thing. I'm just going to go pretty brutal there. I'm not holding back.
Nice.
And I have no idea.
So this is the warm up for you.
Yeah. I'm being nice at the festival. I'm not going to be so nice at the after party.
Nice. Well, also congrats on your track Apocalypse, right? And that's actually part of an EP that explores like analog sound.
Yeah.
And you made it with like in conjunction with your wife. Yes. So I'm always very intrigued as to how artists come up with the track names, right? And like Apocalypse, I think that's a very fitting name for maybe some like did current events influence the track's name, and how did the collaboration come about? Was it just how just the creative process on that? So
Moog asked me to contribute to track. Based on 3 synths that they have, 3 semi-modular synths, and we decided to try these synths out together and learn about semi-modular synthesis together, because I don't know anything about modular or semi-modular, and Nick is real into music, but she's also a scientist as well. So she's been learning about synthesis with me. In fact, she knows far more about synthesis than I do. I've always been self-taught, going by ear and intuition. So it's been fun figuring stuff out like together, like because we're on the same level with this. Because I've always been just computer-based, doing everything in the box. But here we are with this semi-modular system, and like we're figuring stuff out. I needed to prepare for a show, and I said to Nick, you just like have a jam. Anyway, I'm hearing, like whilst I'm practicing in one room, I'm hearing this amazing thunder in the other room. I'm like, Nick, what's going on? What are you making?
Oh, look at her.
That's the most techno thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah. So like, we gotta record it. And so we recorded it, and it was kind of a rough recording.
In a very organic way, it sounds like.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Yeah, we wanted that, but we just like wiggled stuff around. She had this amazing rhythm, and it was so industrial, hard, crazy at 160 BPM. Like, I mean, I've never made a track that fast.
Yeah.
And there she was, and she was pulling the chords out and then sticking the cables back in, or actually in the wrong places, but it sounded so gritty. And I'm like, yes. She was doing that non-stop. And I'm like, right, we got to make a track around that.
Happy accidents.
I thought it was nice to witness, her having this intuitive moment with sound. So it was like, wow, that's it now. We're going to make more tracks together.
So when it comes to like music production, would you encourage newer producers to like re-engineer their favorite songs, or are there any tips that you would give them to like hone their chops?
Well, re-engineering their favorite tracks is a good way to learn, but it's not a good way to develop your own sound. So definitely do that as a learning tool, but really it's about constant experimenting and exploring and just being brave. Don't say to yourself, oh, I can't do this. I've never heard this before. If you ever feel like no one's done this before, no one's heard this, that's exactly
you're on the right track.
Where you should be, like, yeah, moving forward with that and keep pushing that, and just record everything, every crazy idea.
Okay. And so then when you're looking at your own personal journey, you know, what inspired you to like tinker around with techno?
Oh, I know exactly. It was a record, LFO by LFO.
Okay.
I couldn't believe the bleeps and the deep bass that was in this. Never heard anything like it.
Do you still remember where you were when you heard it? Like, or is it just kind of one of those tracks that's just the one that got you into this rabbit hole?
Well, I think I heard it on John Peel's show. So he you know, he's now passed away, but he was a DJ on Radio 1, and he'd play every style of music. And I listened to his show a lot, and suddenly there was this bleepy track, and I was about 12 at the time, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could make sounds like that. Yeah. You know, the closest thing at that time was Kraftwerk.
Right.
So, and then this was just completely different. It was dark as well. And there was dark pop music, so when you think this is the underground, like Warp Records, but pop music at the time, you had Adamski with, you know, Killer, and that was very bleepy and dark, and that was in the charts. So
right.
And I was really interested in that kind of sound. It's a very, very synthesis, bleepy sounds. And I was like, I've got to find out with this LFO track how they made those sounds. Okay. And then I found out it was this Roland SH101, and that was the first synth I got. Okay.
So that was your first piece of gear too.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you have a very rich career, right? And I think success is always this tricky word, but before we get into that definition of success, have you ever questioned your abilities? And when those moments came up, like, what do you do to keep going on this path? And especially being a woman, sometimes it can feel like you're working twice as hard, you know, as your male counterparts. So how do you kind of navigate those waters?
Well, on the question of being a woman, I don't feel working twice as hard anymore, but I did for a very long time. Okay. Very long time, especially because I've had basically two lives in techno. I had the life before I quit. I quit, I don't know, in 2006 or something, and I thought I was never coming back to techno. That was when I was working twice as hard and getting no recognition, and it was very different, the attitude then. Then when I came back onto the scene in 2013, so, you know, my first record, it was with R&S, called Colonized. Suddenly I'm back on the scene, and yeah, I was really surprised that after this long gap of, I don't know, 7 years, I honestly believed there would be progress, and there wasn't. There really wasn't in 2013.
We're in 2021, and sometimes it still feels like we're still at a very low. We're still climbing up that hill, right? But we're making progress.
Yeah, I mean 2013 is very different from now, 2021. For techno, I think there's been a lot of progress. Actually, I don't know about other genres. Actually, you know, I don't like it when I'm at playing for a festival and it's like there's different stages, like there's a drum and bass stage, there's a house stage. When I'm sharing like a minivan, you know, to get to somewhere with a house artist, I'm sorry, but their attitude really fucking stinks. Really? And I don't get that kind of attitude in techno anymore. Okay. You know, those kind of attitudes seem really backwards. So I honestly feel like there's good attitude in techno. Okay. Or at least in Europe. I don't know what it's like in America. Everyone I meet in America seems really progressive and understand where we're at or where we need to be. But yeah, I don't feel that when I meet a house person or a drum and bass person. So I then feel, fuck me, you know, when I think about the women in those scenes, how hard it is, like, for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that different genres have kind of even their own different battles. And then just even also too, though, at this point of your career, you know, would you say that you're successful? And if you're not, what does success look to you? Well, how would you define success?
Yeah, I definitely am successful, because I do think, I look at every day, I think, how lucky, you know, am I? I'm really doing what I love. Mm-hmm. I'm surrounded by the right people, and yeah, it's hard, because it's kind of more straightforward when you're not anybody in particular. You're just playing techno, and I prefer that. Mm-hmm. You're not considered, you know, a success or whatever. But now there's a bit of pressure that I have to get used to.
Yeah.
So there's some stages or big festivals that get us to play, and then suddenly I feel a lot of pressure, and then I've got to remind myself, hey, you are where you are right now because of what you've done. So just remember that I don't need to be anything else.
Exactly. Yeah.
So just be who I am. And Nicole always reminds me, just do you. Mm-hmm. She keeps saying, okay.
That's a great life. It's a short and like sweet, simple model, but life motto, I should say. But definitely, I think this past 18 months, everyone's really looking into redefining their purpose. So it's kind of like, and then even just looking at the term of success. But yeah, and I think hearing someone as accomplished as yourself say that you are successful, and success comes in waves, right? There's different times that sometimes you might not be on your high, but you might be working on different projects. Yeah, so we're really stoked to see you play here back in LA after, what is it, almost 2 years?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, is there anything else you want to share with us before we head out?
I just hope you have a good time.
Yeah.
Enjoy the thrill that I love to give.
Thank you. Safe to say anyone who has the pleasure of seeing Paula Temple will most definitely enjoy the thrill she loves to give. For all creators out there, she reminds us that success and creativity can emerge from the most unexpected places. So before writing off that silly idea, or perhaps it's a little weird, remember to give it a shot and not clip its wings before flight. You never know where your imagination can take you. Let go and let flow. Now head over to our SoundCloud to catch our other episodes, guest mixes, and premieres. You can find us on all socials at 6am Group, or just check out the track description for links. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon on the band floor. This is Daisy Days, signing off, always jamming.